Oof. Let's fix this. There. Isn't that so much better now that everything is clean? I feel better, my laundry's done. Such a step up. So now I can start a craft project. Hi! So I bet you're wondering what the fuck happened between this week, last week, and even honestly, the intro versus this voiceover. Well, I've got my cat sitting next to me on one side and my bird in the cage on the other, so animal noises throughout. She's a good girl, Lydia. So the beginning of this clearly shows me like deep cleaning this room, getting excited for it, and then starting this craft project. Well, I started that craft project, and then my life went to shit. I don't want to get too much into it right now because everything is still up in the air. Like, I'll go through a little bit in the voiceover to explain why and what, but for now I just want to start with what this is actually supposed to be. So I have an old work friend I used to work with back at my old bakery job, who got me this job at Walmart. I work at a Walmart bakery. And her birthday was just in January, the end of January. So about a week before the end of January, right before the convention and all, I decided to make her a gift. Now, one of her favorite games currently is The Sims, and she's like obsessed with it. So I thought it'd be a cute idea to make a Plumbob crystal headband. And I've seen people do this out of like plastic and this, what have you, but I decided that I was going to make it out of foam. Just like a craft foam because it's lightweight, it wouldn't crack if it's plastic. The first night I practiced with a test Plumbob because I didn't know how many foam sheets I was going to use or what have you. So I tested it with a red one for myself, and I used hot glue to hold it all together. And I hated the hot glue one. It just looked like a hot mess, but I only used red with it, and I figured I'll keep this one. So then I decided to start with a green one, because that's what I wanted my friends to be, was the green one. So I used two different colors of the green foam. I used a lime and then like an emerald, and I know I wanted them to be crystal, because in the game it's like sparkly crystal. So I decided to mix a couple acrylic paints up, just like greens, yellow greens. I added some yellow glitter and then some blue glitter to the dark green. So I painted on top of the foam and it looks super sparkly. I absolutely love it. And that's when I decided that I wasn't going to glue it, I was going to sew it. So after my pieces were cut and painted, I got my sewing kits together, and then that's where I guess you would call it the big bang happened in my house. That's what I'm calling it for now. So as you know, sure, I may be 26 years old, but I still live at home with my family just because it's cheaper, and due to some unfortunate circumstances, I have not been able to get my license or a car. So I live at home, which is fine. They don't mind. Like, they're not like, oh, you're 26, move out, you know? But unfortunately, in a household where I have been parentified, witnessing a lot of arguments and fights between them firsthand, I grew up with a lot of anxiety to the point where anybody arguing or any kind of disagreement gives me major anxiety. So they started arguing a couple weeks ago over something fucking stupid, which gave me anxiety. And then the anxiety went down, and then it went back up, and then it went back down because they both said some mean shit, but one refuses to say that they did anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. So my anxiety heightened and my progress slowed heavily. And then it all came to a head where after 4 days of fighting and anxiety and the point where my chest was hurting for 3 days straight, I decided I've had enough. And I talked to some people, and I had a plan to leave this house unexpectedly. I was gonna leave. I really, really was. Looking back at the intro on this, I'm so sad because my room was so clean. It looked really nice. And then I packed just about everything up. I have my clothes packed. I took down my prints. Most of my collectibles are down. A lot of my art supplies are packed away. And I was ready to abandon this project. I was ready to just make a quick clip of what I did, upload that with the story of everything in my safe environment. But that didn't happen. And why that didn't happen? Well, first of all, my dad found out I was leaving 2 days before I was gonna leave. And he was heartbroken and he had chest pain, and I felt really bad, but the psychotic energy of the other parent was still enough to drive me away. And then my sister left. My sister, who had told me and encouraged me to leave, who had told me that she could not move out. And by the way, my sister is not in the same predicament as I am. My sister is spoiled, rotten. Everybody does everything for her. My parents just don't like her boyfriend. That's literally it. So she's mad that they have an opinion that goes against hers. And then she left after telling me that because she has nowhere to move to, that I should move out first. So I made a plan, and then she left unexpectedly, which caused my bipolar mother to go into a basic psychotic rage. And I have another younger sister at home. My brother is in college, but I have another younger sister at home, and I could not leave her in the warpath, so I chose to stay behind. So this selfish act of my sister ruined my plans to leave my mentally abusive household, and now I'm just full of numbness and regret. But I did have fun making this headband. So a couple days after that happened and I decided I was gonna have to stay for a little while longer, I unpacked a couple things. Like, I unpacked some shoes, I reorganized some stuff. I left a lot of stuff packed. Like, I think I only packed my shoes, my pin boards, and my earrings, and my necklaces, like that kind of stuff. But after a week, I was right back to making this headband, which is where I'm just going to keep going with this voiceover, else I'm going to get sad and start crying. So yeah, once I again saw that my test with the glue like shit, I decided to start sewing. And sewing took so much longer than I thought it would. I don't know why I thought it'd be easier, but then I realized like 3/4 of the way through that I discovered a sewing method that had the same, I guess, stitch type, you would call it, with like a faster effect. So, because I was going up, under, up, under, up, under individual, when I could just fold, pinch, and go through and through, and it would do the exact same stitch. But I like it so much better than the way the glue looks. And I can't remember if I packed my glue gun or if I just lost it, because I can't find my glue gun. And I was like, how am I going to attach these two pieces? I had to run into my brother's room and steal his E6000, which broke. So Max, I owe you a tube of E6000. Sorry. But I did end up using this cat toy that I bought just for this, because I wanted the middle part. First of all, I wanted it on like a spring, but the only spring Walmart sells is like door springs. Like, they don't sell craft springs. Somebody suggested a cat toy, and I know what they meant. They wanted like those little cat toys that suction to the window, and they have springs on them. Your cat swats at it. So I went to go look for those. They didn't have it, but they had this teaser toy with a really long handle, but it was really thick plastic with a pipe cleaner inside. So I was able to cut that piece off, snap it, cut the pipe cleaner, and I just put the end piece back onto the toy. So that way my cat has a new toy, it's not wasted, and I have the little piece of support that I need. And then I just ended up using these scrunchies, is that the name? Scrooky? I don't fucking know. These headbands. E6000, the one piece on, and then let that dry overnight. Then the next morning I let the glue over the end of the piece and then put the Plumbob on, let that dry, and it looks super cute. Like, I have never done a crafty thing like this before, and I'm going to be doing more crafty stuff because next week's video, hopefully it's next week, it might be the week after, I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to get back into schedule after missing a week unexpectedly. Whoopsies. But there's an art contest going on at my job, and I'm so entering, so that's going to be next week's video. Oh my god, my fucking throat. The air has been so dry in my house, it's like, you know? So that's it for that. This is the Plumbob when it's all done. I think it looks so freaking cute, and I'm just everywhere. My head hurts, I'm anxious, exhausted. So I'm just going to end this with the clip of my cat playing with her new toy. Thanks so much for watching. Sorry about just vanishing, because I also vanished on Instagram. So link to my Instagram and Etsy and all that in the description, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hi, Lydia. I got you something. Oh. Immediately. Hi. Well, I guess while I wait for the glue to dry,